Hello everyone, this is Javamonk, and welcome to episode 99 of the Survival Series. This is the final episode of the countdown, and the second to the last episode, before the grand series finale, episode 100. So, let's start off with a poem. So, here's the thing. I've now pretty much done every cliche ending to this series, except for one. I have not done a full tour of all the projects and all the builds. I haven't done that in quite a while. I've recapped over bits and pieces, but not the full thing. So, this episode, we're going to get one more cliche ending out of the way, and we're going to recap over everything that happened. Maybe not through time, but certainly every single build, as well as some of my favorite episodes. Both the specials and the non-specials. So, a poem, a haiku and limerick is, "You think you're big, with your fancy little words. This is not so hard." That actually did make sense. Huh. Interesting. Okay, let's see what our limerick is. This, by the way, is actually the second to the last limerick in this poetry machine, so it seems they're gradually making more and more sense. Here we go. A dozen of gross in a score, plus 3 times the square root of 4, divided by 7 plus 5 times 11 is 9 squared and not a bit more. Not only is that the full limerick, but funny enough, 9 squared, 81, that's the episode when I built this poetry machine. So, there we go. Apparently, this is going to be a good episode, because the poetry machine made perfect sense. Okay, let's begin with the recap. We can start with the poetry machine, which works basically, I press a button and it generates a haiku and a limerick. So, the limericks have been going in this set of chests, the haikus have been going in this set of chests, and the last haikus and limericks are going to go in this chest. There is one more for episode 100. So, I built this back in episode 81, and it's been a tradition to start the episode with a haiku and limerick ever since. Quite honestly, I kind of wish I started this earlier, because this is a lot of fun. So, while we're in this room, we have the bulk crafting system. So, there's a whole ton of droppers, which are all... I mainly use this to craft together the melon slices that come from the melon farm, which I'll showcase later. Basically what I do... Let's actually see if I can do much bulk crafting. Nope. So, what I do is, I put all the shulker boxes of melon slices in this minecart with chest, and then it distributes one shulker box to every single dropper, at which point I pull this lever, which gets a new shulker box and starts unloading all the shulker boxes into these droppers, and then I flick this lever to actually activate the bulk crafting system. Let me turn down the volume. There we go. All this dropper action, all the melon slices then come up onto this blue ice stream, which I then craft together into melon blocks and put them into these lime green shulker boxes. Although it appears I'm not really going to be using this bulk crafting system ever again, so I guess we can just clear it out. Revealing the glazed terracotta floor. In this same area, we have access to a cave spider farm, which, let me just hop onto the camera account to show you. Alright, there's the cave spider spawner, and all the cave spiders just spawn, and they drop onto this stone platform, which all the drops are picked up by the hopper minecart, and the hopper minecart transports all those resources to the bulk storage room. Over here is something recently added. This is a pathway to a super duper old skeleton farm, and this also works by the dungeon cages. So right here is my AFK spot, and here I got this. Actually does not automatically get sent to the bulk storage room, which is totally fine with me. And this also works with one of those It's basically just a mob cage, just like the cave spider farm, except it works with skeletons instead of cave spiders. So, super archaic, nothing fancy here. I very rarely actually use the skeleton farm. Over here is a room I visit quite often. This is the redstone storage room. So, I have basically a system where if I get more than a shulker box, so I can store things like pistons and observers in shulker box form, as well as stacks, and this way it doesn't crowd anywhere else. This area is purely for the redstone storage, although I do still have storage for things like iron bars and tripwire hooks, because I can't think of any other place to put it. So, yeah, I have a lot of redstone resources, especially a lot of oak trapdoors, plus a lot of, not too many of those. I got quite a few tripwire hooks from AFK fishing. Let's see. I got a lot of redstone from the witch farm. Lots and lots of observers. This is about, I'd say, a 20th of what I originally had. Yeah, I have a lot of observers. And as well as a lot of dispensers. Too many dispensers, quite honestly. That's a lot of sticky pistons. Lots of hoppers. Lots of comparators. Here, I don't have much. I accidentally crafted too many note blocks and couldn't find a use for them. And iron doors, iron trapdoors. We got TNT, pistons. The pistons and observers, the massive amounts of pistons and observers. That was from the project of episode 50, which I'll get to the site of episode 50 later. And we have cauldrons. And then to get out of the redstone storage room, you just press the button and it instantly pops up this staircase, which then I can just climb and open the doors and climb out. And the staircase just automatically retracts. As you can see, right about now. There you go. Staircase retracted. So it's a hideaway staircase in a redstone bulk storage room. And now, the actual bulk storage room. So, here in the regular bulk storage room, we have a glass tube that carries items directly upwards through this column. Those items come from the different farms I have that automatically connect to the bulk storage. Plus, yeah, this is a very often used glass elevator, or glass item elevator. In each of these chests, I have a whole bunch of items inside, so I can either directly put items inside, or I can use these hoppers to directly send items one by one into the top chest automatically. Here are items that are not automatically sorted. Here are unstackable items that are not sorted. Over here we have a shulker box unloader that automatically connects to the glass elevator. And there's also plenty of other sorting systems. And each of these chests are labeled, and it's all super nice. This is something I don't think I've actually showed off in a video. So if you throw an ender pearl into the bubble column, which you can just barely throw an ender pearl past the chest, you get to the lag zone, and also the mob zone. So this is all the automatic shulker box loaders. I have shulker box loaders for saddles, bamboo, slime balls, things like that, plus melon slices. So if any of these hoppers run out of shulker boxes, then this system turns on and just rapid fires that note block, and this way I know when I'm about to run out of items, or run out of storage capacity. So you can see up here, let me just toss another ender pearl. Actually, wait, I don't need to toss an ender pearl. I can just use this ladder. How clever. So if I just find a way to climb the ladder. Come on, seriously? Climb the ladder. And here you can see why I call it the mob zone, because I didn't light this area up all that well. So here you have all of the automatic sorting systems. And all of the items from the glass elevator come up through here, plus various items that drop down into this water stream to be automatically sorted. So here's the unstackable item sorter, and it's a pretty good view of what's going on. Plus those redstone lamp indicators indicate when I'm about to run out of capacity for one individual slice of the bulk storage room. So that's pretty neat. Let's just... And to get out of the bulk storage room, you find... I'm just gonna hide in here. Take one of these downwards bubble columns and then ender pearl out. There we go. The bulk storage room is also home to the trash can right here. And also Rebel the Parrot, who I tried to transport to a special area for parrots, but Rebel just wouldn't go. So it decided to stay here, teleport down here, and stay here in the bulk storage room. And actually, there you go. The glass elevator is getting some action from the slime farm. Over here we have the slime farm. So let's just climb down these elevators to show that we have multiple layers, each of which has an iron golem, and slimes can spawn on all of these layers. So in fact, there are slimes spawning currently. And all the slimes drop down the tube and land on these magma blocks, and the slime balls are then picked up by Hopper Minecart. Hey, Hopper Minecart, this is your cue. Hello? Where's Hopper Minecart? Ah, there it is. You missed your cue, Hopper Minecart. So the Hopper Minecart just takes those slime balls, puts them into this dropper, which then gets sent automatically to the bulk storage room. Speaking of things that automatically filter into the bulk storage room, we actually have a bamboo farm. And the only way to access this bamboo farm is to crawl along Die Hard style through this hopper pipe that goes directly to the bamboo farm. So here we go. Eventually we'll get there. It's kind of a bizarre way to get to the bamboo farm, but I don't exactly visit this area all that often. And when you climb out of the hopper pipe, you can climb up the staircase a little bit so that you can get a peek at the bamboo farm. So this bamboo farm is pretty huge. Let me just show you with the camera account. And here it is, in all its glory. We have a flying machine that only activates when a certain bamboo stalk grows up to the proper height, and at which point the flying machine just clears out all of the bamboo, just basically shaves off all the bamboo, which then sends off all of these hopper minecarts to go collect all that bamboo. So there we go. That is the bamboo farm, and it produces so much bamboo, it's actually kind of insane. So, which is actually why it's automatically being filtered into the bulk storage room. Oh, would you like that? There's a zombie on the shulker box system. And this is why I covered it up. Covered all this stuff up. So the other things that go into the bulk storage room are actually two different item streams. This one leads all the way out here, past the mine shaft, which is actually, it's not very eventful. I just got 4 tunnels going in a whole bunch of different directions, going on for thousands and thousands of blocks. In fact, yeah, I'll showcase this later. So this item stream goes all the way out to here, and in fact it splits off in multiple directions, and ultimately leads to 4 different sky islands, or specifically farming islands. They all had villagers to farm them, except it seems those villagers have despawned and or stopped working. So this one was supposed to be for potatoes. It never actually worked. This one still has a villager in it, except the villager's unemployed, and was supposed to farm carrots, except it never really worked. Over here we have the beetroot farm, which also stopped working with 1.14, and I never really came back. I was never really bothered to come by to fix that. And over here we have the wheat farm, also run by an unemployed villager, also broken, also never bothered to fix it. So the actual items are gathered from this hopper minecart. I have an awful lot of hopper minecarts in this world. And the items are actually directly dropped out of this dropper and sent straight down, because I didn't want any kind of glass tube or anything. It gets dropped down right to this hopper platform, which is then sent down to here into this ice stream, which then sends all the wheat, beetroots, carrots, and potatoes all the way back to the bulk storage room. And on this side of the ice stream, we actually have tons and tons and tons of ice streams all over the place, all of which originate from various farms in the bulk storage, various farms in the mansion, which I'll get to the mansion. That's basically it. That's kind of, the mansion is my home, and it's right above. And in case you're wondering where the screeching noises are coming from, it's from that ghast right there. So let's see. That is basically everything from that leads to the bulk storage room. Oh, and there's this tube here, which actually goes from the surface straight down to here. See, the slime farm was oh, there's diamonds underneath the lava. There was originally a bunch of Vindicators running the slime farm. It was run by a bunch of Vindicators named Johnny, and that actually worked fairly well, but it wasn't all that great. So this is where I led all those Vindicators into these doors, at which point I transported them back up to the... I basically transported them via flying machine and or minecart to the Mansion Island, which I will show you the Mansion Island, the Mini Mansion Island. That's going to be in the part of the tour that's not Mansion and not bulk storage room. So next up on the tour is actually this respawning system, since we're still going underground, and I've pretty much shown everything else that's underground except for this piece. So that part of the tour actually is based on the part of the tour that is based on the item revival system, which was underground, actually starts in the bedroom. So this here is the bedroom, the place where I sleep, in the mansion. Again, the tour of the mansion is coming up as soon as I showcase this. Here I have a composter that I can crouch inside of, and that is actually just a ruse. There's nothing inside that composter, and also an Apple phone sitting on a charger. Now over here is the super cool secret entrance. So I flip down the trapdoor, press the button, and then back up as I flip the trapdoor open. And here we are. Now we're inside this area. So this button will take me down to the mansion, which I'll use later. But over here is the button that leads here. This is the part that kind of kicks me directly into the item revival system. Here we go. So down, 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 and boink. So eventually, I actually held shift intentionally to prevent me from flying off, because it seems this thing's broken somewhat. So here's where I have several buttons. I can either choose no Thorns armor. Here I can choose Thorns armor, and that'll dispense me the armor that I need, at which point I press the go button, and then I get sent down to this area. This is the true item revival area. So I have a shield, I can get a crafting table, a fishing rod, an ender chest, a sword, plus extra fireworks, damage fireworks, extra ender pearls, which can all just be dropped out with this one button. Plus this nether button gets me fire resistance potions, and this button right here gets all the underwater supplies, such as water breathing potions, weapon tridents, frostwalker boots, plus riptide tridents, boats, magma blocks, and soul sand. Over here is the generalized things, like I can get a pickaxe, an axe. Is this a silk touch or? Yeah. I'm gonna get a shovel, a bow, as well as some arrows. I have not added crossbows to this since I built it. I haven't exactly used it very much since I built it either. Over here I can just get a bunch of fireworks. These are specially flight fireworks. And over here I have the weapon rockets. So, yeah. Over here I can get an elytra or a chest plate. It's up to me. Plus in the exit I can get a whole bunch of food. My food is golden carrots, at which point I can either escape through the nether, which would be good if I died very far off, or I can just run along here and fly up the soul sand elevator and use the brand new Riptide Trident to launch myself out. And now we could begin with a tour of the mansion. Behold my home, the woodland mansion that I captured way back in episode 3 and 4. So I have 2 beacons on each side giving me the speed effect, and this is the exterior of the mansion. I'm not a big fan of that area. So we have the brick chimney, and we have the exterior, which I pretty much just preserved the exterior. There's nothing new in the exterior. So here we have, I'll go outside the mansion later on in the tour. So this is the exterior. I'm just gonna fly around. There you go. So over here is, I'm thinking I'm gonna demonstrate each part of the mansion, of the interior of the mansion, from the bedroom and going outwards. So here's the bedroom. I use this to sleep. Over here I have a smelting system, or a furnace system, kind of a bulk smelting, which I built back in the, I think, episode 30 or something like that. Well, no, it's not 30. Something like, it was in the 30s of the episodes. And this was part of the 30-minute challenge, and I haven't changed a single thing since then. And you know what? That 30-minute challenge produced a furnace system that was really good. I can just put input items into the minecart chest up here. I can put fuel, which is blaze rods, in here. I was thinking switching it to bamboo, except bamboo is a terrible fuel source. And the output, I can just flick this lever to collect all the output from all the different furnaces. Mind you, some of these furnaces are broken because in that 30-minute challenge, I was kind of silly with my minecart track placement, but you know what? Most of it works, and these furnaces are absolutely fantastic. Now, one thing I am wondering, how much experience am I going to get from this? From these furnaces? So here we go, once again using the 1.14 crouching mechanics to show you all of the furnaces in here. So, there's not much going on in here. And yeah, these redstone blocks are a little bit silly, because they do block these hoppers from actually smelting anything, so I have stuff like sand that from eons ago. But, you know what? Most of the furnace system works just fine, so I'm not going to change a single thing. And what I'm thinking of doing is actually using this crouching to actually get enough items to smelt exactly one thing. And let me just show you the inner workings of this furnace system, since I haven't exactly shown it off since I built this back in episode 35 or whatever it was. So here we go, the inner workings of the furnace system. I just have a bunch of minecart chests going back and forth and putting items into hoppers, which filter them into furnaces. Let's see. Let's just smelt a whole bunch of raw chicken, cause why not? And actually, all the product from the furnace smelting system comes outputted to the first floor right here, where I have just a double chest that collects all the items. So let me just go back up the scaffolding elevator to the actual furnace smelting system, and let's just collect all of the experience from all of this smelting. cool. I got enough XP to mend up my pickaxe, my armor, and got some extra 2 levels of experience. So over here, we have the huge mushroom farm. And it's not a mushroom farm that's gigantic, it's a farm that farms giant mushrooms. So, here we go. I'm pretty sure this still works. Yeah, let's just grab a red mushroom. And plant it, flick the lever, and this thing should still work. There we go. And now I can just take my efficiency silk touch axe and chop it all down. Although it is kind of silly to be doing this stuff with an efficiency axe in a wooden mansion. I mean, it's kind of silly, but you know what? And I also haven't exactly used mushrooms, but you know what? It's cool to have this farm. So this farm was designed by Izuma Void, and I am very sorry for it being so dark. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna brighten this in post-production. Or in the editing. So there we go. Let's just snag that birch slab back. And there we go. So that's the big mushroom farm. And yeah, and this tube, by the way, is from the this tube is for the escape system from the bedroom. Over here, also still on the second floor, we have this area right here. This is kind of a slime block landing pad from which I can land here if I'm dive bombing in from an elytra, jumping off the island up there, and in fact, I remember I originally had plans to build a diving board, but that plan, I guess, never really came to fruition. Over here we have the staircase to the 3rd floor. So, the 3rd floor is absolutely tiny, but it's still got plenty of stuff. So, for example, we have the nether portal room, which kind of looks like a giant meteor came in and crashed in here, which generated the nether inside the mansion, which also destroyed some carpet. Over here we have the sheep farm, which I drastically scaled down a few episodes ago. This is a multi-layer sheep farm, or wool farm, which is that's actually what the brick chimney is covering, is the wool farm. Okay, let's just hop down here and run over to the map room. This gigantic map wall, I finally finished filling this in back in episode 92. That was also the Q&A episode. So here we have the whoop, why is that not rotated? There we go, that's more like it. So we have the mansion, world spawn, I'll show off that site later. We have all the different areas around the mansion. So we also have, this is basically the entire mapped out area of the world. And it's actually why the world is so gigantic. I am going to leave a world download in the description, but warning, this world is 2 gigabytes in size. So, yeah, and this is the majority of the reason why. And over here in this chest I have things like cartography table, scaffolding, more item frames, and here's the white banner that marks the mansion. And over here are all of the buried treasure maps that I've ever gathered, plus a Ocean Explorer map and a Woodland Explorer map. 2 maps that I've never ever explored. I wonder how far away this mansion is. Yeah, very far away. And this ocean monument, also very. That could quite possibly be the ocean monument that I'm using as my guardian farm, or as the episode 64 area. Right, here's Quicksilver the horse once again. Let me actually write him. This here is the Hall of Fame. This is gonna be. I'll showcase that later. This right here is the automatic brewing system, and this is not very automatic, but it does work pretty well. So here we can fill in the water, and I don't currently have anything to brew, but essentially what it does, I drop all the ingredients in here, and all the ingredients are automatically sent into this area right here, which basically just puts the ingredients into the brewing stands. So once all of the ingredients are in the brewing stand, I then press this button to brew everything, which sends all of the potions into the brewing station, into the brewing stands, and at which point they brew up. They make a big loud blue 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 sound, and once all the potions are made in the way that I want them to be, I press the potion release button, which automatically sends them into this hopper stream, which is perfect for shulker boxes. So this was the villager breeder. Villagers would just hang out in that potato field. They would breed because of a villager up here. And this minecart track would transport all those villagers. Now, this is part of the massive villager system, which I'm just going to demonstrate each individual part. We have the villager breeder down in that farm area, which would get baby villagers. They would land down there, grow up into adult villagers, jump up into this water stream, and fall down here, at which point they get pushed against this corner. Now, I would have minecarts come down this railway and pick up villagers through the corner, and the villager would go up and over into here, and would come out on top. Then the villager, and by the way, that's the MVP villager that made all the villager breeding possible, and I could just turn on and off the breeder by just flicking that lever. This whole thing broke in 1.14, and I never bothered to fix it, because villagers are frustrating. So, over here is the redstone system. So, this also kind of sort of broke in 1.14. Here I have a waterlogged trapdoor, which is pretty cool. So I have the villager in the minecart would come up through here, dismount, the minecart would hit the cactus and break, the villager would land in here and flow along until they land on that pressure plate. When they land on the pressure plate, this would happen. And they land inside this flying machine, at which point everything would retract, and a new villager could come in. And once a new villager could come in, it would... Yeah, villagers are not smart enough to do parkour like that. Once the system is primed for another villager, this dispenser goes off again to send off another minecart. Now as for the actual send-off system, which is right down here, still on the second floor, and right across the hallway from the main entrance, we have this flying machine right here. Now, when enough villagers, specifically 20 villagers, came into the flying machine, they wouldn't move because there was a carpet inside there, super clever, which broke in 1.14, then the flying machine would automatically send the villagers up to the giant villager island right up there, kind of near the build hill, right near the build limit. So that's going to be after I tour the mansion. But for now, here's the entrance. There's bright purple shulkers in the chandelier there. We have the massively scaled down pig farm. We have my personally designed course plant farm. Personally, I'm sad to admit that this thing, I haven't used it ever since I built it. But this is a functioning course plant farm. This is actually my own design of the course plant farm, my most recent design, the most compact design, and it works. In fact, it worked so well, it's so compact, I could put two right next to each other. The only issue is I couldn't AFK it both at the same time. And if only I can actually climb up somewhere. No, I'm trapped. So this was my attempt at being able to double AFK at two of my own design of course plant farm, which totally failed. So this dispenser was supposed to shoot me with arrows, at which point I'd go into this water stream and go along here and land right here. Hey, actually, here's a working course plant farm. So here I'm actually going to demonstrate how this farm works. So, and mainly demonstrate the fact that it does still work. I think. Quite certain. Apparently not. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, the course plant farm does actually somewhat work-ish. It's not exactly all that great. Well, it is pretty awesome if you're trying to AFK at only one of those. It doesn't work if you're trying to AFK at two at the same time. So this was part of the plan. I'd find some way to automatically jump up with the slime blocks and land in the water stream, which actually goes above the mansion, and drop down into the other course plant farm. This would have been a fantastic idea, but I guess it never came to fruition, which is kind of ironic considering it's course fruit. Oh, and this is actually where I manage the animal farms. So I can breed up the pigs here. I can breed up the sheep here. And yeah, that's it on the second floor. This wall is actually quite blank. And we have another one of these Shulker chandeliers. Try saying that 5 times fast. And yeah, this wall is quite blank. And that's because there's a whole bunch of redstone back here, behind it. So there we go. That is the second floor. And once again, that's the Hall of Fame over there. I'm going to demonstrate that as part of the Hall of Fame and Hall of Shame tour, since they're kind of counterparts of each other. We now go down to the first floor. And in the first floor, we actually have... This is the button that I use to actually hide away the bulk storage room. And in fact... Hang on. Emergency fix right here. Hot fix. So let's... I can actually demonstrate the process of going down to the bulk storage room. I'd stand here, press the button, and I drop down through the psychedelic spiral that drops me right down to the bulk storage room. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna grab a birch plank here. There we go. Don't need that. And I'll clear this out later. There we go. Oh, I still need that. And how to get out of the bulk storage room and back up to the mansion is I go up the soul stream elevator, or soul sand elevator right here. At which point, over here, I just press this button and use a Riptide Trident to launch my way out. So there we go. Before 1.13, it was a little bit more complicated. I was using slime blocks to jump to basically shove me through the floor, but now with 1.13, it's super easy. And over here is actually where I kept the Book of Shame for live streams, but now I don't keep the Book of Shame there anymore. And this oak button, it can just go into the redstone shulker box. So in this direction we have the Hall of Shame, which once again I'll tour as part of both the Hall of Fame and Hall of Shame at the same time. Over here we have the output to the pig farm, and over here we have the enchanting station as well as the anvil station. This anvil station has automatically repairing anvils, and looks like I have 2 more left. It's a shame I'll never use them again. And this enchanting station, I have once again a small confession. I haven't used this enchanting table since, I don't know, episode 13, something like that. And the reason for that is because of this thing. This is the automatic AFK fish farm. So I can just pull out my ultimate fishing rod and just stand here and automatically fish. Super easy. It's a super simple design, and this fish farm automatically goes to the bulk storage room. So that's even cooler. Over here we have a room of miscellaneous things. So here we have the melon and pumpkin farm, which appears to have broken itself because I have hunches because some minecarts decided to stop rolling. That's totally fine. Over here we have the Hoe Breaker 600, and let me just pull up my diamond hoe to demonstrate what this does. It's kind of a silly little contraption. So all I gotta do is just push this on, and it'll basically just break the hoe automatically, or semi-automatically. I still have to hold down right-click with the hoe, but it runs down the durability super duper quickly. And I guess this thing you could call it the Pickaxe Breaker 600, because this right here is the world's slowest cobblestone generator. So I guess it's like it's a time-wasting machine, sort of. Let's see if I can actually squish myself into the cobblestone generator. And nope, it pushes me away. Oh well. So, world's slowest cobblestone generator. And over here, I couldn't exactly cover this up. This is the hopper minecart unloading stuff for the pumpkin and melon farm. Yep, the minecart stopped. But that's totally fine. This right here is the melon farm. So I have the melons growing here, and this is actually partially modified Ilmango's design. So we have a hopper minecart underneath here, and this hopper minecart also activates the pumpkin farm. Which, let's get the light source. There we go. Here's all the pumpkins. And this hopper minecart's still running. So this hopper minecart collects from the pumpkins. The one above that collects for the melons. And both of these drop down into both the melon and the pumpkin farm automatically filter into the bulk storage room. So that explains why I haven't gotten many melons, because this melon hopper minecart stopped. Now, over here, also hidden behind the wall, is the cactus farm. This thing is pretty efficient. It's kind of scary how efficient it is, especially considering how very rarely I actually use cacti. So, there we go. It's a super simple design. Nothing special here. Here's a challenge for you. Somewhere in here, I have the exit from my bedroom. Can you guess where it is? It's not here, not the maintenance door. It does appear my mansion is overrun by skeleton horses. So, this is the exit to the first floor of the mansion. Back up through here, into the James Bondy crawl space, at which point I run over here. So this one I gotta do quickly. And yes, I am using the slam block landing pad as part of the powering process. So I gotta do this quickly. Watch this. I just jump down here and crouch, at which point I get shoved down here. That's the block that retracts to send me back here. Yeah, super duper secret. And here's the exit to the back entrance of the mansion, where I have the backside beacon, plus I don't really use this exit very much. Over here I have a seagrass farm, which works by a minecart, so I can just demonstrate it right here. So if I just flick on the lever, then you can demonstrate. You just go back and forth and shear all the seagrass. Just like that. Super simple. Now, as for collecting the seagrass that doesn't float down in water because, well, items no longer float downwards in water as of 1.13, I have the maintenance store right here, which has access to the extra seagrass here, plus we have access to the sea pickle farm. The sea pickle farm is actually the hoppers sticking out. You just put bone meal in there, and that grows sea pickles. Let me just break this open to show you. There's the sea pickle farm. So, it's not the most efficient thing in the world. So, that's the seagrass and sea pickle farm. We have a Vindicator-powered chicken farm. So, all of my animal farms are powered by Vindicators, named Johnny. The chicken farm I also massively scaled down, so it doesn't produce very much. Not anymore, anyways. Over here we have the small mushroom farm. This is an absolute catastrophic failure. Behold, the small mushroom farm, which turned out to be so laggy and so inefficient that I just switched it off. This thing works by having a hopper minecart, or a hopper timer, basically send off pulses to splash out water. The mushrooms are supposed to spread out on their own. They don't. This is basically just a mob spawner. So, yeah, total catastrophic failure. And I built this during the same episode as when I built this big mushroom farm, So that episode's called The Fungus Among Us. I don't remember what number it is, but it's called The Fungus Among Us. I thought that was pretty clever. And it looks like this half a minecart stopped as well. Thank goodness. So over here we have a bamboo farm. This is the teeny tiny bamboo farm, which replaced the kelp farm that totally stopped working. So this used to be a kelp farm, now it's a bamboo farm. It still doesn't work. That's just a bad area to grow plants. And behind this wall we have a sugarcane farm that just randomly decided to break. For no reason. This is how it's supposed to work. This was also built eons ago. So basically I have flying machines going back and forth and breaking all the sugarcane that grows. I don't know why those flying machines keep stopping though. And all the sugarcane basically goes into these water streams and goes into here, which goes automatically to the bulk storage room. Also the cactus goes to the bulk storage room automatically. So does the chicken farm. And I believe the small mushroom farm actually does not. Yeah, this is just a mob spawner. I wonder how many mushrooms total I've grown. Oh, hi, skeleton. Wouldn't that be funny if this is the only thing that actually grew out of my small mushroom farm? Die, skeleton. There we go. And netherwoods. Yeah. Yeah, this mushroom farm never grew anything. That's actually kind of sad. Oh, and the seagrass farm also goes directly to the bulk storage room. So, this is the scaffolding ladder that goes to the second floor. So, and this is the hopper that gets bone meal for the sea pickle farm. So it works only if I actually put bone meal in there. And this is the room of operation. I have an anvil here, which I haven't used ever since 1.14, actually since 1.13, because it's impossible to get floating anvils in as of 1.13. So I've had this world since 1.12, and I've put up that floating anvil, but now I can't have floating anvils anymore, so there we go. This right here has a chest that goes directly to the bulk storage room. We have backup armor, we have a shulk box of water breathing potions, shulk box of night vision potions, backup trident, fire resistance potions, backup beacon, and 4 different crossbows. We have a no thorns armor, backup set of tools, plus a brewing stand, furnace, blast furnace, smoker. We got a bunch of weapon rockets in here. We got the ender chest, crafting table, cartography table, grindstone, stone cutter, everything. In here we have kind of a mini bulk storage room. So this has basically all the precious things that I couldn't really decide where to put anywhere else. That should be going in the bulk storage room. And so should that. So, and yes, I've duplicated a bunch of dragon eggs. So this is basically just a whole bunch of stuff that I never figured out where to actually put it. And I still have tons and tons of shulker boxes full of shulker shells. This was back in episode 42, getting this shulker boxes of shulker shells. So yeah, this is where I keep all my precious things, plus the ominous banners, and bottles of enchanting. Over here is all the different valuable enchanted things that I gathered from End City raiding. So we have things like the diamond pickaxes, bows, the diamond armor, and elytras. Over here we have different brewing things like full shulker boxes of healing potions, milk buckets, fermented spider eyes, extra brewing stands, all kinds of stuff. Plus we have a whole bunch of leads because every single time I need a lead, I always craft way too many of them. And then I come back to the base of operations and I go, ah crap, I already crafted 3 stacks of them. Oh well, add more. Over here we have the Vindicator powered cow farm, which, okay, looks like it does not automatically filter to the bulk storage room. The automated cow farm is, I can access the breeding area by going up this staircase. There's all the cows, which also I massively scaled down because cows were causing tons of lag. over here is the Netherwort farm. And also I have a death machine that I built back in episode 75, which, yeah, this death machine actually broke. So this here is the Netherwort farm. All I gotta do is press a button, and that just breaks all the Netherwort, at which point I then have to go through and replant it all. So, there we go. Most of the Netherwort is actually directly sent to the bulk storage room. The rest of it is just laying on top of the soul sand so that I can replant. So let's replant it. So right outside the room of operation, we have this flower farm, which actually I really like this farm. So each of these, I just got a bunch of bone meal. I can just flick one lever and that produces a whole bunch of different flowers. So each of these works with individual flowers, 2-block tall flowers. And over here is the sweet berry farm. So all I gotta do is just hold down right click and that'll just harvest all the sweet berries. There we go. That's my sweet berry farm. And also apparently the pain farm. So now comes the part where I tour the Hall of Fame and the Hall of Shame. So first, let's tour the Hall of Fame. We have the respawning system, represented by my very first set of iron armor, which I preserved. We have the nether portal decoration, the Zamboni from episodes 62 and 26. Well, I think it was 26. We have the witch farm, which I'll show off later. We have the original dragon egg. We have the silk touch pick that I rescued from my seagrass farm, as well as David Bowie, the first bow that I made. The first enchanted bow. This here is livestream number 1, 2, and 4. All represented by different items. Plus we have some map art for episodes 25, 42, 50, and 64, as well as 75 and 100. 100, I just have celebration fireworks. And this, by the way, is the output chest for the sheep farm. So over here, we have the 30-minute challenge, like represented by the furnaces. We have the Halloween path right outside the mansion. I'll show that off later. We have episode 62 in general, because episode 62 is actually one of my favorite episodes of the entire series. That was quite the project. It's one of my favorite non-special episodes. My other favorite non-special episode is actually episode 80, which is where I built the Tower of Sauron. I'll show that off later. In fact, I'm gonna add that to the Hall of Fame right now. There we go. The Tower of Sauron is added to the Hall of Fame. We also have the Villager Elevator, the Gold Farm, the Slime Farm, the Sky Village Zeppelin. All of this I'll show off. We have the Drowned Farm, the Christmas Path and Candy Canes, the Villager Trading Hall, the Front Door, and Episode 1. We also have the Bulk Storage Room, the Trim Castle, and that's so far that's it. And over here is where I have my cocoa bean farm. So this is also something I haven't really used very much. I need to bring cocoa beans. I just locked myself in. Lovely. Here we go. The cocoa bean farm. So this right here is basically, I just stand here and hold down right click. And it's supposed to make cocoa beans. This still works, right? Don't tell me this farm broke. Please don't tell me this farm broke. Of course, there's no bone meal. That's why. Let's try this again. This time with less failing. So, here we go. There we go. That's more like it. Now I'm getting cocoa beans. So this is the cocoa bean farm. I don't remember who built it. I also don't quite remember when I built this. But there we go. There's the cocoa bean farm. And with the fame also comes the shame. So the Hall of Fame is all about projects and episodes that were awesome. The Hall of Shame is all about the opposite. The episodes and projects that totally failed. So here's the second floor staircase medallion. It was short lasting, thank goodness. That thing was absolutely awful. This here is the ice highway that was next to the mansion, which I finally dismantled in like episode 91 or something. We have the Halloween ghosts, I'll showcase that later. The kelp farm, totally failed. We have the old melon and pumpkin farms. The farming islands for carrots and potatoes, they never worked. The live stream number 3, that was, I called it the Shakespearean curse. And it's a very fitting name for what happened. Live stream number 5, because it took forever to actually figure out how to upload that. We have the Gold Farm elevator, I'll showcase that. Episode 24, I'll showcase that. The Small Mushroom Farm, which was, I just did demonstrate that. The 3 a.m. challenge. Oh my goodness, that was just a mess. That was one of the episodes that I worked on the bulk storage room, and I figured it'd be interesting if I did it at 3 a.m. when my brain was just not working all that great. Yeah, it wasn't exactly a very entertaining episode, and the stuff that came out of that was not very good. Here's the old villager elevator. Here's the item request system, which is also something that I just recently dismantled. Here is the episode 71 and the ice farm. Well, I'm gonna take that back. Episode 71 was one of the... I think it was the last episode before I switched to... Let's just change this to episode 71, because the ice farm is cool. The ice farm works great, but episode 71 was a very rushed episode. And then we have the Book of Shame from the live streams. These are basically people who broke the rules and are therefore forever immortalized in the Book of Shame. For offense number 1 and offense number 2, and there has not been anybody who's gotten offense number 3, thank goodness. Here's the sheep farm. Well, this shouldn't be the sheep farm. There should be the wool farm, because not only did the wool farm not work all that great, it was also incredibly laggy. So there we go. That is... Oh, and also, episode 42, the first time-lapse. That's an unwatchable time-lapse. We also have the Mob Farm Island, which I'll showcase. The outside ugliness on the mansion, I already did showcase that. Episode 28, I got blown up by a guardian. Episode 26 was pretty much a total failure. So now, we're going to venture out. So now the tour of the mansion and the tour of the bulk storage room is complete. Now, we venture outside the 3x3 piston door to the exterior of the mansion. And on the exterior of the mansion, we have a Dinnerbone Ghast, plus a diamond-armored zombie holding an empty map, which I captured who knows how long ago. Its name, Velcro is a ripoff, because it's a real groaner of a joke. Here's one of the Halloween ghosts that I just mentioned, and over here, actually, I had a doghouse for an evoker. So, that's kind of cool. Here we have the minecart track that goes down to the mineshaft, which, I'm gonna real quick venture down there just to showcase what's going on. So, we go right down to the bowels of the earth, or the planet. Whatever planet Minecraft's on. So, this here is the mineshaft, and I have nothing in this chest. Plus, a furnace and a crafting table. Basic things. And it turns out I had a minecart here, but now I don't. Do I have one in the general purpose shulker box? I do not. Well, crap. Now I have to walk up. Haven't had to do that. I haven't exactly had to do much mining lately. And here I'm going to be walking away from the mansion, which is the opposite direction that you'd be taking the Halloween path. So, here's a haunted ghost, and here's some haunted pumpkins. Got some mini pumpkins. And right here we have a sign saying, "Enter if you dare." And then we have the haunted closet. That just never gets old. So, there we go. Hopefully that scared some of you guys. And now I have to rebuild the haunted closet. Because this is a one-time use thing. And if I put glazed terracotta, it wouldn't do a very good job at hiding the fact that it's a haunted closet. So now I basically have to rebuild the entire mechanism, which I'm totally okay with. It's pretty good for cheap laughs, or at least with some cheap jumps. So there we go. There's the oak button, and let's put in the haunted closet. And lastly, we gotta put the armor stand back so that it resets, and this way we can do this again. Or at least when I bring in the world download, you guys can press that button again. So now we continue along the super spooky, creepy Halloween path. We have a seahorse ghost. We have another ghost. We have here lies Quicksilver stability. It should trim its mane every now and then. For those of you who don't know, Quicksilver the horse exists in 2 places at once. I'll just leave it at that. You'll see him in Trim Castle. And also, here lies Javamonk's old skin. It's better than Bob. I don't know what that joke's about. But yeah, this was not my original skin. I changed the skin at around episode 50. In fact, episode 50 is when the skin officially changed. It was the default Steve skin. So now we go along the haunted path once again. Here's another ghost, and that's it. Now over here I have some hopper duplicators. And this is actually what I used to duplicate dragon eggs until it stopped working in 1.14. This here is a fireworks showcase where I basically did a... This is what I used to celebrate episode 50. So I can... Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay. Huh. Looks like... I didn't know it did that. That's kind of cool. Okay. Let's just put these items back. There we go. So this was the episode 50 fireworks showcase. It's still pretty cool. So now this here is the Christmas path, complete with candy canes. So this is the path that I take to go to and from the mansion and the other area. So the other area has... This area has a... Well, this is the section I used to do the piercing crossbow trick. So this is where I got the advancement for the piercing crossbow. And I do occasionally use this to get music discs. So I actually haven't gotten many music discs. So now we continue along here, and just make sure I'm not wearing my thorn timer. There we go. Okay. This here is the 3D printed statues, pseudo 3D printed statues of me and future Javamonk back from episode 96. So pretty recent project here. And right here we have a giant Christmas tree with a star that's way too big for its own good. And over here we have my very first house. It's literally a door inside of a hollowed out dirt hut. So here's a chest of garbage. There's my first crafting table, my first mine shaft, and my first ever house in this whole survival series. Pretty nuts. Here I have the slam block launching platform I used for moving shulkers into this shulker elevator, which goes all the way up to the sky build limit. I'm not going to use it because that elevator is the slowest thing in the world. Over here, looks like some pieces from episode 50. So here's the banner that I used to mark the spawn point, and here is the light up display from episode 90. So this is actually pretty cool. I'm just gonna press 3 buttons because this thing gets extremely laggy if I activate too much of it. It's also the loudest machine in the world. There you go. Each pixel is controlled by single buttons. And yeah, this is a... I think I have a scaffolding ladder over here. Or something like that. Yeah, this is a gigantic machine. Like, this is just absurd. There's so many observers. This is actually where the majority of my observers went, is into this machine right here. It's kind of ridiculous. So there we go. Episode 90 was this gigantic machine. I'm still amazed that I managed to build this in such a short space of time. This here was the site of episode 50's mansion. So, for those of you who have not seen episode 50, I made a mansion move across the sky with slime block flying machines, and it crashed down and flattened quite a bit of terrain. It also destroyed some trees, and it actually broke the camera rig that future Javamonk was writing to kind of film the progress of the mansion. And in fact, there are still some bits and pieces of the engine, like that one. And yeah, that was quite the crash. So there you go. This is the site of episode 50. I did not make a memorial, and in fact I tore down the mansion because I needed the dark oak and the birch planks. And I used that dark oak and birch planks for a project that I'm going to showcase over in that direction. That's going to be part of the Sky Tour. So, let's just end the pearl over here. I just now brewed up this potion of slow falling potions, or the shock box of slow falling potions, so I can do the aerial tour in a somewhat organized way, and so it's not annoying. This right here is the almighty lava pit that I use for all of my lava purposes. At least for the minor projects, like if I need to cook a whole bunch of stuff in the furnace, I get the lava from here. The nether portal that I built way back in episode, I don't know, 11, 10, something like that. The lava was gathered from this lake. Now, where I use the most lava is actually right here. You can already see it right there. This right here is quite the project. This was built in episode 80. And what this is the Tower of Sauron. Yeah. With a full eye and a working beam. This thing is insane. There's a villager over there, somehow. So, yeah, there's a working eye beam coming from an indestructible end crystal. So, and actually the indestructible end crystal moves around. So, here I can just flip on the lever to show you that over time, this eye beam will actually move. It can sweep across the landscape this way, and it can extend forwards that way. So, I think I have it flipped on. Let's see. So there you go. The I-beam does move, but it's kind of glitchy, and I don't know, this doesn't work all that great. So we're gonna move along from the I-beam and actually go inside the tower, because there is a way to go inside the tower. So here's the mega tower that goes all the way up halfway to the sky build limit, because indestructible ender crystals, which is what this I-beam uses, they go right up to the world center at Y128. So that's why the tower is this large, and there is a way to ender pearl into the inside of the tower. At which point you get to look up and see all the amazing nether brick all over the place. Plus down here, there's a big eye. And also there's lava. So this is where quite a bit of lava was used and taken from the nether. Nether portal right there. So there you go. That is the Eye of Sauron. And since this building is so large, I figured this was a perfect transition to the aerial tour. Not to be confused with the Times New Roman tour. So let's see. I can just fly right up to the... Come on. There we go. Oh, come on. Fly, you fool. There we go. Lord of the Rings reference right there. So here we are, at the top of the Tower of Sauron. Now, this is where I'm going to whip out my slow-falling potions and begin the aerial tour. So let's just grab a few from the slow-falling box. So, let's just pop this on, and then we can begin the aerial tour. Starting with the... I say we start with the Sky Village, because this is quite the project, which is, technically speaking, unfinished, and is not going to be finished by me. I'll explain why in a little bit, but here you go. Here's the giant, humongous shulker elevator that goes right up to the sky build limit. And right here, you can see the Sky Village in all its glory. So, this Sky Village is actually supposed to be a functioning village. Unfortunately, it seems we have a lack of villagers to actually run the place. I don't know what happened to them, because I definitely transported them here. So there's the flying islands, there's the mansion down below, and there's another island. So here we go. We have an upside down house here because the Zeppelin right there that's carrying this whole village supposedly crashed into this island, and now this house is falling down. So it's not the sky that's falling, it's the house. Now as for these different places, you have beds and got various villager workstations, assuming there were actually villagers to run the place. Sadly, there are none. So none of these houses really have all that great of interiors, and the reason for that is actually because I'd get really hyped up to working on the Sky Village, and then it seems as soon as I started working on it, I instantly lost all motivation. So I only made it this far, and I have a zillion lanterns covering this place because mobs kept spawning inside. So this is supposed to be the Grand Meeting Hall, and over here... Man, slow falling is weird. Right here is the Christmas landing pad, which is where all of the new villagers go into the village. And I definitely transported about 20 villagers in here in the last shipment. There's only 2 remaining. I haven't found any of the others. So bizarre. So there we go. We also have a farm right here, which, yeah, it's a farm. Huh. Does slow falling not trample crops? That's kind of cool. Over here we have a mini Parthenon, which is a definitely small-scaled version of the original Parthenon. This is just a miniature version, complete with the flower garden all around it, and a bunch of villager beds just hanging out for no reason. So there we go. That's the mini Parthenon. We also have the blacksmith's hut. There's no point going inside. And we have the Church of Javamonk. Yeah, I got a church for myself. So over here, we can step inside. You got the interior of the church. You got some seats for different villagers and lecterns. So there we go. Once again, I kind of wish there were villagers just running around doing their business, but yeah, there's none. And here's supposed to be an animal pen, I never got around to putting animals inside, or villagers. And over here we have the tavern at the end of the universe, and there's nothing inside. So yeah, this is kind of a sad skeleton of what could have been, but you know what? I can't do everything, especially when I instantly lose motivation. So there we go. This was a neat idea, I think. But yeah, it definitely did not work out. I think I showed off these farming islands already. So now, uh-oh, there goes the slow falling. Right here is a glass highway that transports villagers from this place. This right here is the big island, the villager island. And over here is just random tidbits from episode, I think, 80 something. So all of the villagers that are transported up from this flying machine right here. I think I can actually demonstrate this. Let's see. All I gotta do is break this repeater. There we go. That'll activate this flying machine. Then I'm gonna fly up there and catch up to it at the villager island. So here I am. I'm a villager. Just pretend I'm a Whoa. I guess that's why this thing started breaking. But anyways, I'm a villager. Let me just... Whoop. So what happens is, the elevator gets to the top. Let me just see if I can hop into the elevator, just to demonstrate what happens. Oh, come on. Ah, you missed it. Well, what's supposed to happen is the elevator basically gets partially dismantled, and this flying machine pushes all the villagers into this holding chamber right here. Now, this holding chamber is where things get interesting. So what happens from here is, there's a dispenser behind this rail, and that'll take the villagers out onto this minecart, which will take them out onto a minecart, which will transport them down into this pit. Now, this area right here is where the player gets to choose what happens. So let's just grab an empty minecart just to showcase what happens. So pretend there's a villager inside, because villagers are broken in 1.14, and I never bought villagers are so frustrating, I just didn't bother fixing it. So here I get to choose. Should this villager go into the villager trading hall, which is on top of the island, or should I not let it in? Let's say I want this villager to go into the trading hall. So, la-di-da, I'm a villager. So this minecart will then transport the villager up into the almighty villager trading hall. This villager trading hall was designed by me, and it's a 2-block wide tileable design, which very quickly transports villagers in. Like, this is how fast. Bam! Already in. So, that's a very fast design. And as you can see up there, some more rails were placed so that another villager can come in to take this place. Now, say I don't like this villager, it gets sent into the collection of obsolete villagers. So let's just hop into this minecart. And you can see, it's kind of a bumpy ride. But eventually, the villager gets into a brand new holding cell. And why is there a villager blocking the path? Man, villagers are so frustrating. Should have gone into the holding cell. Here's a villager. So, there we go. So the villager goes into this water stream, at which point they are taken to this special holding cell. Now, this holding cell, what it does is, it basically stores the villagers until I'm ready to put them where they should. Until I'm ready to give them a place. Now, there's 2 different places that villagers can go. The aforementioned Sky Island, and another island. Now, I originally had plans to have a 3rd option, and I'll show off all 3 of those options. And the 3rd option was going to use this little system down here to transport mobs, but it never got used. So right now we have a villager stored in a capsule, in a dark, dingy corner, never to see the daylight. At least, not right now. Although, could be a model villager. Now, the villagers that are initially rejected from the system are given different treatment. So, they get dropped down onto this minecart track, which goes to a totally different place. So, let's hope there's no villagers in the way. Okay, doesn't look like it. So here we go. The minecart comes up, and I'm ejected and pushed into this water stream. At which point, I'm then sent into a totally different chamber. Right here. Once I have a place for the villagers, I then press this button and also this button, so I can send off all the villagers from the two different sets of cells, and all of the villagers are transported down into this area. Let me just run over there and show you. So, while there is actually a couple villagers that are coming in, so I'm just gonna wait for them. Let's just dispense this bucket of water. There we go. Now, on the interior of the villager island, we have this super old rail duplicator, which I'm pretty sure doesn't work anymore. At least, I guess it would if... I'm not sure if it would even if there was no lag. Good grief, how many torches were there? There. So this is a super old rail duplicator from the 1.12 era, something like that. And yeah, this doesn't work anymore. But I duplicated enough rails. Whoa, wait, Elytra. I duplicated enough rails to store into multiple large chests. For example, here we have several double chests full of activator rails. We have several double chests of normal rails and several double chests of detector rails, because those were the ones I'm duplicating. I didn't actually duplicate powered rails because I don't need to. The reason why, I'll showcase that in the nether part of the tour. Here we go. Pretty soon I should have a villager coming in. It's called a water stream. You go down the water stream, so that you can be transported to a sky village. You know, a place where you can be useful. How hard is that to understand? Good grief, what a pain. So, this villager would be transported... I have the option to send him to the Sky Island, at which point he'd be going along this glass path highway. Or, and also, here I have manual controls, so if I flick that lever, then any villagers contained in here would be... Well, this gold block will retract, and this flying machine will start flying off in this direction to transport all the villagers. Now, I don't want to send the villager off to the Sky Village. I want to send them to Plastic Island, which I'm going to showcase right now. Plastic Island was built during episode 42, and let's just drink this potion of slow falling so I can demonstrate what's going on here. There we go. Okay. We can just follow this villager along. Or not, because he decided not to go to paradise. So this glass highway goes off in way far away from the mansion. Even farther away than from my AFK platform over there. That AFK platform's for the... It's mainly for the slime farm and bamboo farm. And it goes off to Plastic Island. Now, hopefully this island at least has some villages in it. There we go. So welcome to Plastic Paradise. This was a 3D printed island. Every single block of concrete, yeah, I didn't place it. A machine did for me. A 3D printing machine, to be exact. So, on Plastic Island, we have a whole bunch of lights. We have villagers roaming the place. And we also have an automatic dropping system right there. Plus, we have a mini-ish Parthenon featuring an evoker. This was actually the one and only evoker, the original evoker from the mansion when I originally conquered it, which is kind of crazy. So here we go. It's at least that's the only surviving evoker. So we have a Fountain of Youth. We got some tiki whatever's stuff. We have some customized trees, and we have, because literally every place in the world has it, a McDonald's for villagers. So here it is. Now over here we have a fountain that kind of cascades down to the ocean, or at least it's supposed to, but I never got around to finishing it. So here is the Plastic Island in all its glory. Alright, and there seem to be some lighting glitches. So there we go. That is Plastic Paradise. And this is a burnt area that's... I still haven't figured out what the source of the fire is. And there's some blue sheep from when I tried to dye some sheep blue. Now, here's the thing. I mentioned that there was a third option for villagers in the original plan. And that third option, assuming I stop out of control flying, is actually off in this direction. Now, first off, this right here is the Mob Farm Island. And there's a reason it's in the Hall of Shame. It was a total failure. Like, there's no rescuing this thing. So, let's just... Well, I guess there's mobs spawning in it, but I ended up turning it off because it was getting too laggy. So, pretty soon after I built it, I decided to just put a Santa Claus hat on top of it. In fact, I put the Santa Claus hat once. I think I did it during the Christmas live stream. So there we go. Let's just get some more fireworks, because I'm definitely gonna need these. Now, the third plan for villagers is off in this direction. And there's a conduit down there. So, the original plan for the villagers was I was going to store up a whole bunch of nitwits and use them in an iron farm, and then transport any remaining rejected villagers to the Sky Island, to the Sky Village. The villagers that became obsolete would go to Plastic Paradise, and once I had no more use for nitwits, they would go here. Welcome to Mansion Island. This is where all that hard-earned dark oak and birch came from, well, went. I can't actually go inside the place because there's a whole bunch of Vindicators and Evokers in there. But here I can actually open up the roof to drop more in, and there you can see some Vindicators. This is where I put all of the Vindicators and Evokers from the 2 mansions that I conquered. 2 mansions, one for my house, one for episode 50. So, and here's one of the Evokers. So I kind of modeled this place after the actual Woodland Mansions, except smaller. So, this right here is one of my favorite rooms. It's like the chicken room from the mansion, except the ceilings are too small. So, I made the chicken look down between its legs. So we got 2 Evokers chatting to each other. We got the hallways. Yep, we got a pumpkin room. And also a much more luxurious staircase than what I think is provided in the actual mansions. Here we got the sapling room. We have more staircases. Yeah, this is mostly staircase and hallway. But there is a patio out here. So, there you go. You can also count the Evokers and Vindicators. They will match up. And it seems I didn't quite finish the window decorations. And I guess at this point, it never will be finished. So, here's the Vindicator face room. And on the first floor, we have a map room. We got a farming room and a bedroom with lots and lots of beds. So that's all I can show. I can only show it through the camera account because there's no way to safely enter this mansion in survival. So yeah, but I can hang out on top. So now I'm gonna fly away from the mansion island and head off in this direction for one last big gigantic project for Sky Island. And that is Trim Castle of Northern Ireland, or at least my recreation of it. mainly featuring my little brother, because he's a much better designer than I am. And there you go, there's proof. Quicksilver exists in 2 places at once. The Quantum Horse. So there we go, we have the interior here. Honestly, the tour of Trim Castle can be its own episode, which, in fact, is episode 93. Maybe 92. Let me confirm that. It's 93. So, episode 93 is me building this entire Trim Castle place, which is actually kind of a short episode, so it's really not that much work. Just go watch the episode. But yeah, we have Mr. Suspicious. And this is actually a more functioning village than the actual Sky Village, which is kind of sad. So anyway, I'm just gonna fly away from here. Partly because I don't want to disturb the villagers, and partly because this aquarium is quite interesting. Whoa, assuming I don't fly like a maniac. There we go. We got an aquarium. Because every good castle has to have an aquarium, especially if it's a medieval castle from Northern Ireland. There we go. I think that's it for the aerial, for the stuff in the sky. So now we go out to the ocean, where there's a couple more islands. See, I've always kind of had this vision that there would be the mansion down below, and there'd be islands all over the place in the sky. And that vision has most definitely come true. So let's just dive underwater. So this way I can use a Riptide Trident. There we go. This is totally effective. So this right here is the Drown Farm. And I used this farm several times to get drowned. At least tridents. This is where I got most of my tridents. And the AFK spot is way up there. And yeah, I've gotten more than enough tridents to last a lifetime. So I'm good in the trident department. I only really need two tridents. Now this place is actually kind of a colossal failure, but it is a neat little place. This right here is Turtle Island. So let's just dive underwater. That was a horrible idea. Yikes. Yeah, that was a horrible idea. So so here's the plan. Turtles will go back to their home beach if they get eggs. So if you basically breed 2 turtles, they will always return to their home beach. So that island right there is the home beach for lots and lots of turtles. So the way the turtles get back to their home beach is swimming up through this bubble column. At which point they'll go up, up, up into the Turtle Island. And here we are. Welcome to Turtle Island. We have an iron golem to keep baby zombies out, and here we have a place where turtles can grow up and drop their shells, and their scutes will go into those hoppers. I wonder how many scutes I've collected. But yeah, these are all the different turtle eggs. What if I can stand on top of them? Nope. Okay. So let's just sneak around them. And yeah, I've gotten lots and lots of turtle eggs, but I haven't gotten any turtles to actually return to this beach. So yeah, it's kind of a colossal failure in that regard. Let's just try Riptide over here. Phew, thank goodness for slow falling. So here we go. Let's just float on over here. Slow falling is really cool, actually. Okay, let's see how many. Can I actually jump over here and check? Okay, I've gotten 6 scutes total. That's it. Kind of sad. But the whole idea of this area here is the turtles get off the island by growing up, so they're able to jump up onto these slabs, at which point they very slowly crawl over here, and then they activate this tripwire, which then launches them. Come on, to make a liar out of me. This redstone worked. Come on. There we go. So the point is, it would make the turtles jump out into the ocean like this. and eventually land down here. At which point we'd have turtles floating around here, which I could come by later and breed them up. This turtle is named Leonardo. I'm gonna get a name tag and name this one Donatello. Come over here. Nope, your name's not Leonardo. Come here, Donatello. There you go. Not necessarily a ninja turtle, but still a turtle. Still deserves to be named. So here we go. Over here. I suppose we might as well explore all the exterior areas that might not necessarily relate to the islands. So further in this direction, we have the Guardian Farm, which I built back in episodes 28 and 29, and remarkably, this thing still works, and yeah, it's quite productive. Well, I just recently emptied it out, but still, this thing does work, and it does have its own AFK platform right up there. Plus it has its own Santa Claus hat, which is pretty cool. And apparently this area is a slime chunk. Or at least one of these chunks here is a slime chunk. So this kind of doubles as a slime farm, completely by accident. See? Guardian's 9. It does work, and it's quite efficient. Yeah. So that is the Guardian Farm. There really hasn't had to be much work done on this area after I built it. I just gotta find a way to fly out of here. There's the nether portal that takes me to the actual Guardian Farm, if I ever need to. From the nether, at least. Now, further in this direction, we have the actual places where I did all the map art. So, here's mainly for the Hall of Fame. So here's the one for episode 42. And over here, here's the one for episode 50. And over here we have the one for episode 64. Right here. And then over here is actually the area that I used to do all the episode 64 things. So yeah, there's an ocean monument right here, which I used to get mining fatigue. And then I went over to this island right here to get all of the other effects needed for the How Did We Get Here advancement. So there we go. This was the runway I used. There was Johnny the Dolphin in here. There's Johnny the Skeleton and Johnny the Bright Purple Shulker. And yeah, Bright Purple Shulkers are kind of a theme here because in episode 62 I got a bucket load of Bright Purple Shulkers, which I did put to use. I put every single one of them to use. Here's the map art for episode 75. And over here is the map art for episode 100. Right there. So, bingo. That is all the map art, and that's pretty much it for this area of the mansion. In fact, that's nearly it for all of my overworld constructions. Now we go to the nether to go to some pretty far distances. Because the next buildings are actually in places like Ice Plain Spikes biomes, and yeah, those are very far away. I forgot to mention, in this place, this is a place I used to gather tons and tons of grass. Back in the old days when I couldn't figure out how to make grass grow. So, there we go. This was the grass area. And is that a custom llama, or... is this a tame llama? I have no idea where this llama came from. Okay, back to the nether. Welcome to my nether hub, featuring a gold farm, and a kind of an elevator-ish thing down to the proper... down to nether proper. This whole thing is on top of the nether, on top of the bedrock ceiling because, I don't know, I didn't feel like digging out a bunch of netherrack. So, this is output from the gold farm, and we got some magma cream here. Plus we have a bulk crafting system, which I can activate like this. So, basically I have a zillion droppers, all dropping out gold nuggets, and This is basically a low-scale version of the one I already have in the mansion. At which point I put all the stuff in, all the gold ingots in here, and they all get transported into here once the shulker box fills up. Now, as for the gold farm that produces it all, I can show that to you if this elevator can actually work. This elevator is notoriously bad, so yeah, it didn't even work there. Come on, let me up. Are you serious? So I just flew up here because I'm too lazy to make this elevator actually work. This thing is broken. But then up here is the AFK platform for the zombie pigman farm. So I have 4 different layers of zombie pigmen. At some point I changed this design from Snow Crash's 3-layer design to Ilmanga's 4-layer design. And yeah, that was a pretty good decision. So this is the AFK platform. All the zombie pigmen just drop down in here and get entity crammed by minecarts. And then all the XP goes to me, and all the items go over to this hopper stream and down to the original hopper sorting system from episode 13, I think. Maybe episode 12. Yeah, it had to be episode 12. Which also featured my first ever time lapse, which is pretty exciting. So there we go. That is the gold farm. Oh, cool. So this is the nether portal I take to go to the mansion. When I come from the mansion, I come out of this grass mine portal, and that portal over there goes to the ocean monument, and that portal way off in the distance, the one where the crosshair currently is, that one is the episode 64 portal. Now, as for nether proper, there's some interesting stuff going on. But first, I'm gonna real quick go down to here to the wither cage. I don't showcase this place very often because it's been a while since I've had to kill a wither, or have had any reason to kill a wither. But assuming I did have a reason to kill a wither, I'd go over to this nether cage, spawn the wither on top of the obsidian, and then just fight it melee like a sissy. Because that's how I play. I play like a sissy. Which is also why I'm terrible at fighting the Ender Dragon. So here we go. Let's run along the netherrack tunnel and jump down to the actual nether. Boom. So welcome to the actual nether, a place I haven't been to in a very, very long time. This was the original kind of cage house-ish place for the nether portal, back before I moved everything up to the nether ceiling. And over here I have some cobblestone walkways that lead me to the place where I gathered all the lava for the Eye of Sauron. In fact, here it is. I cleared out a pretty significant chunk of the lava lake to get enough lava for the Eye of Sauron. But this is also nowhere near enough for this lava lake. Anyway, over here I have a tunnel that leads to a nether fortress, which I'm just going to show in the camera account because I don't feel like really trying to endanger myself. So, welcome to the very first nether portal I ever discovered, and this is home to a blaze farm and a wither skeleton farm, and I haven't done much else to the fortress. So this right here is the blaze farm, designed by Nims TV. I do know that it's not exactly the most efficient thing in the world, but it does work. So all I have to do is flip it on, and then hide in the coward room. And this way, I don't accidentally break the farm. So this design works by basically having blazes spawn. They drop down onto the bottom of the spawning room, and then they get basically shoved into this cage here. At which point they should be entity crammed. Doesn't seem to be working right now. But yeah, here's the coward room. So there we go. I haven't had to AFK much at this place because, well, the super smelter does use blaze rods as fuel. I've gathered enough fuel rods, enough blaze rods to actually handle the place. To handle quite a few smeltings. So here's the rest of the what's this place called? This is the wither skeleton farm right here, which I can actually access the I can access the player areas through here. So there's a ton of different layers. And the way this works, this is Tango Text design. Let me just run away before the blaze shoots me. Right. So the way this farm works, there's a ton of... Only wither skeletons can see me right now, assuming I didn't jump up like an idiot. So here's all the wither skeletons. They all see me right now. And now I'm going to run over to this side over here, where... Ah, crap. Yep. The finishing of the Wither Skeleton farm was one of those failure episodes. So, the Hall of Shame episodes, which I actually haven't added to the Hall of Shame yet. Yeah, I've gotten a total of 1 bone once I switched this thing on. So, this here's the drop chute for all of the Wither Skeletons that ever come out of this farm. So, yeah, this farm's not exactly the greatest thing in the world, but it did get me enough Wither Skulls to get a whole bunch of beacons, so I can't complain. This is not a chunk error. This right here is 100% intentional. This was dug out as part of... I don't know, I think I was planning to build an elevator to go down directly to the Wither Skeleton farm, but I never got around to it, so instead we have a totally empty chunk. And yeah, it is a chunk. An actual, legit chunk. All the other conquered places where I have some sort of structure are labeled by these signs, these ice highways. And they are so far away that we're going to be taking a boat trip on ice. Sounds like some sort of knockoff Disney musical. Boat trip on ice. So, over here is a super old desert temple that I found. Not the same desert temple from episode 97. This desert temple is actually so close to the mansion that it's on the map wall, which is why I have this pink banner here. God! That pigman just totally scared me. Okay. And before you get excited, this desert temple's already been looted. So, now let's go to the next place along the ice highway. So we go from here at the desert temple all the way over there. This portal right here goes to a witch farm. Now, I've AFK'd quite a bit at this witch farm. This witch farm is actually really, really cool. It is Ilmango's design. So, there's the ice highway for a return trip, or at least the trip to the next place. Now, this witch farm, it's also so close that it does... Yeah, it's also so close that it actually... This place is actually on the map wall. I think there's a banner down there or something. So, I can turn on the witch farm by pressing this button and walk into the AFK spot where I have... Oh, there's a lot of random items. So, over here I have just some random redstone test. So basically, witches spawn inside the hut, and the items are dropped, at which point they are... At which point those items go up the glass elevator and get automatically sorted and shulker loaded into sticks, glowstone dust, redstone, sugar, glass bottles, gunpowder, and spider eyes. That is a lot of resources. And yeah, this place is kind of crazy. So yeah, this was actually also the site of the, I guess kind of a total loss of items. I think it was the only total loss of items that I've ever experienced on this world. Was right here, AFKing at the witch farm, attacked by phantoms that attacked me through the corner of a glass pane. Totally unfair. Yep, phantoms coming right now. I'm out of here. See ya. Welcome to the jungle. And I've made enough Guns N' Roses jokes here that I don't think I need to make one here. So that's the nether portal to a jungle. And in fact, it lands you right on top of a jungle temple. And before you get excited, this place has also been raided. So, yeah. This jungle is where I got all of my parrots, as well as most of, well, some of my cat pets. That was pre 1.14. See, this world was generated back in 1.12. Yeah! Creeper scared me again. Okay. I'm really jumpy today for some reason. So, this jungle also is where I got all the bamboo that I needed. And also other jungle-related things. So, it all came from right here. And now, let's go to a place that I explored, and at least a little bit. Just enough to get the Adventuring Time achievement, but not enough to actually really count for anything. So these two signs say Jungle Temple that way, that's where we just came from, Mesa that way, along this boat highway. This boat highway took a long time to make, and it's kind of sad that I never really got to use it, because the Mesa is ridiculously far away. It's so ridiculously far away that I never really built anything in the Mesa. And chunk loading is absolutely awful. So, yeah. But at least I did visit the Mesa often enough and explore it enough to get the Adventuring Time advancement. So I guess that counts for something. This is gonna take a while. I even made a little corner so that I don't get lost so far away. Yeah, this Mesa nether portal is ridiculously far away. This Mesa is like 11,000 blocks away from the mansion. It's kinda insane. But eventually we'll get there. At some point. Anytime now. And here's the Mesa. Yeah, there's the portal. And I think the last time I visited here was episode 31. Yeah, it's kinda sad. Although, all things considered, this Mesa is actually kinda sad too. I mean, this was generated back in 1.12, maybe possibly even 1.11. It's... yeah, let's go back. I never really built anything here. Oh, and just because I wanted to showcase it, right next to the gold farm, in fact attached to the gold farm, there is a nether portal and a total failure of a ghast chamber, because turns out ghast can break glass. Who knew? So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Wait, nope, that's not everything that I can have to show in the nether. In fact, the stuff in the nether leads to interesting stuff in the overworld. Welcome to the Tundra / Ice Plain Spikes / place where a zillion pillagers and vindicators tend to spawn / the world's greatest ice farm / the place where I got all my wolves / the place where I built a non-working tree farm. Yeah, this is a multi-purpose place. Oh, and also a place where there's a stronghold. Yeah. So this right here is a ultra high power ice farm designed by Ilmango. And yeah, this ice farm is pretty insane. So if I dive down into the water here, I can just show you that all the ice, this is Ilmango's design, all the ice essentially comes down from multiple sessions, and then once it comes down to the far enough to be the piston push limit, this system activates, which is kind of a warning signal to say that, hey, the ice farm needs to be reloaded, or at least cleared out, at which point I come in with my Silk Touch pickaxe, clear it all out, and what I got in total is 2 double chests, 4 double chests, try 17 chests of shulker boxes of ice. And that's not all. Plus that. Yeah. That's a lot of ice. After a lot of AFKing at the ice farm, plus a metric crap ton of clearing ice. Yeah, I'm kind of sick of ice. And yeah, I was kind of hoping at some point to use all that ice and craft it into blue ice so that I can replace all the... So that way I can replace all the ice highways with blue ice highways, but I guess I never got around to doing that. So, yeah, that's kind of sad, but also it goes to show that I can AFK at a farm without it really being all that useful, which is a good kind of lead into. Oh, there's the banner, because this place is on the map wall. So this is kind of a good lead in into the tree farm. This is my personally designed tree farm, which works-ish, not really. Yeah, it turns out it didn't work for all trees, but the idea was kind of interesting. You basically went back and forth on this minecart to go to plant your trees, and then once a tree gets planted, it then activates an enormous flying machine system. So first there's these flying machines which come in and unzip the tree, basically peel it apart, and then these flying machines are stopped by these flying machines so that they don't crash into each other and make slime block soup. And then those flying machines come down to push all the logs off and into here. So yeah, I also never got around to finishing this tree farm because, well, it never really worked. So yeah, that is this tree farm that totally doesn't work. Now, over here is the stronghold, and I actually have direct access from the nether to the end. Let me show you how I did that. By the way, this right here is a shulker elevator that goes from the bottom of the stronghold up to the surface. Because I so rarely dive down here that there's no point. There's no point in putting an actual elevator. So here we go. I'm not sure if this trick still works in 1.13 or 1.14, but essentially, I put the nether portal frame in and then generated the end portal, and that basically generated an end portal. That generated the end portal and never updated the nether portal. So I have direct access from the nether to the end. Let me show you how that looks from the nether perspective. Why are they all firing at me? I'm in the camera account. What? That makes no sense. It's kind of funny how when the pillagers shoot each other, they turn around and go, hey! Even the Vindicators do that. They just turn around and go, hey, cut that out. I'm out of here. So this nether portal goes directly to the end. This is the intersecting portal. And yeah, might as well do the end tour here. We'll go along those gold blocks later on in this tour. And those gold blocks is actually part of the reason why this world is absolutely gigantic in size on the file. So welcome to the end, and thank goodness it's dragonless. So, right here, I have all the different end city portal thingy-majigs. So, yeah, this is the place where I fought the Ender Dragon. I have a backup indestructible Ender Crystal. Ah! Run away. Run away. I didn't bring my water bucket. Or pumpkin. That was very dumb of me. So, this was also the site of episode 62, and also possibly 61. I think it was actually episode 63. Where I built an ice highway to... I better get out of here. Nope. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Sorry to bother you, Enderman. I'm out of here. Anyway, this right here is the first ice highway in the end, which I built using an automatic Frostwalker, frosted ice highway generator thingy-majig. I call it a Zamboni, and even though technically it's not technically speaking a Zamboni. And here is the Enderman farm. It works off of an Endermite because Endermen are extremely aggressive towards Endermite, and they just run to the middle and all die on this set of hoppers, and then all of the Ender Pearls go all the way back to the main end island. So, but the ice highway actually continues. So, let's go all the way to the end. Badum-chin. All the way to the end of this ice highway. Hey, looks like I didn't clean up. So, yeah, this was Ilmanga's design of a Zamboni that crashed into an end island. And Quite frankly, I never really used this ice highway, so I guess I never really noticed. And although, so that's where my Frostwalker boots went. And this right here is the flying machine that I used in episode 25 to... So, episode 25 was really interesting because basically what happened, I got into the end, quickly built up this flying machine, and then flew off and got to here. Now, over here is where I just started exploring and raiding I raided an end city enough until I could get an Elytra, at which point I flew back to the End Island and I defeated the Ender Dragon for the first time while wearing an Elytra. It was super cool, and I haven't really been able to recreate that experience. And I guess I never really built a system to actually handle all these Ender Pearls. Yeah, kinda sad. And it seems my boat hasn't figured out how ice works. So, goodbye boat. And for the record, I haven't the foggiest idea what happened in episode 63. And episode 62. I definitely conquered those end cities, and I definitely built another Zamboni to build an ice highway using 1.13 snapshot mechanics. I have no idea what happened. Possibly a future Javamonk fail. Anyway, here is a path of gold blocks that I use so that I don't lose track of what happened here. So, this path of gold blocks goes all the way out to where the episode 50 mansion used to be. And also the episode 97 Desert Temple. Because, you realize, I actually planned out all these episodes way, way, way in advance. So, I did actually break enough bedrock to build another portal to take me directly to the Desert Temple. Oh, the place where the Desert Temple used to be. Which is right here. Here's where the Desert Temple from, actually 2 episodes ago, was. I can just show it to you. It's right here. And as for the 1.13 terrain, I built up the nether portal before I actually generated the overworld. So, this was actually partly to protect the Desert Temple, because I didn't accidentally want some stupid bat or something to go in and break the Desert Temple. Break the portal. But yeah, the sky is bright, and this used to be a Desert Temple. So yeah, fun fact, it was moved across the sky, just like in episode 50, and crashed down in the overworld. It's actually right next to the Eye of Sauron. Again, watch episode 97 if you want to know what happened. But now we're going to go even farther down this gold block path. Yeah, this is a very, very, very long gold block path. Extremely long. Absurdly long. Pick an adjective. It's that long. Welcome to the almost literal Kingdom of Far, Far Away. Because, seriously, we are ridiculously far away. And that's just in the Nether. Almost 5,000 blocks away. Yeah, that's just in the Nether. We're going out to the site as well. Leads directly to the overworld spot of that mansion. Assuming the chunks load. So this was where the Woodland Mansion was. And you can still kind of see the cobblestone supports that were supporting it. Plus, ripping the mansion off the ground and lifting it into the sky, it seems future Javamonk left the balcony behind. But that's totally fine. So, although this place is extremely laggy, so I'm not going to explore this area too much. I'm just going to use the zoom key. So, that right there is kind of the ceremonial pyre that future Javamonk used to transform my name, my in-game name, as well as my skin. So, that was cool. And yeah, that's pretty much it to show. That's pretty much all I have to show. Just the fact that this is where the mansion was, and it moved across the sky in that direction. Right? Yep. We're 44,000 blocks away. That's just ridiculous. Okay. time to head back. So now that we've returned to the mansion, I added more to the Halls of Fame and Shame. So, namely, I added the redstone display from episode 90, and I also moved the Eye of Sauron tower over here to its own kind of section of the wall. The interesting thing about the Tower of Sauron and episode 80, I pretty much started that episode. That episode kind of started about 30 episodes before I started filming. I knew what I was going to build, how I was going to build it. I even knew the music I was going to use for the time lapse. And I did 0 testing, and it came out beautifully. So, the Tower of Sauron definitely deserves its own place in the Hall of Fame. Now over here I have the countdown episodes. Episodes 91 through 99. So we have 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. Oh. Is the compass? Okay, the compass isn't rotating with me. That would have been weird. Okay. Now in the Hall of Shame is actually where I've added quite a bit more. Because, well, the Hall of Fame is pretty much all filled out at this point. The Hall of Shame is mostly empty, and I think that's a good thing. So firstly, I moved the episode 42 first time-lapse over here, and then I added on episode 86. This was a short episode and also kind of a subpar quality episode. It's the one where I did my final improvements to the Sky Village. And then over here I have the tree farm, which I just showcased. It's the one right next to the ice farm. Here I have the Sky Village itself. I have the Sky Village Zeppelin up in the Hall of Fame because I really like that Zeppelin, but I'm not a fan of the actual Sky Village. Here's the Wither Skeleton farm, along with one single Wither Skeleton head. And episode 88, which was also kind of a subpar quality episode. So there we go. And in case you're wondering, this is clip number 101. Yeah, this is a very long episode. I hope you gathered some... I suppose it's too late to ask now, but I do hope you gathered snacks or something, because I should have put a warning at the beginning of the video saying that this is a long episode. I wish to point out that I did actually get every single... I hate phantoms. I have gotten every single advancement that I could possibly get, except for 2 birds, 1 arrow. With the killing 2 phantoms with a piercing arrow. I've gotten every single other advancement. And let's see what those Future Javamonk. What on earth are you up to?
Hey, check out my pet phantoms.
They're your pets?
Well, sort of. They're a gift for you, with a message of, sorry for messing up your time lapses with my inability to sleep. One of these phantoms is named Of the Opera, because, get it? Phantom of the Opera? The other is named Menace.
Because of Star Wars 1, A Phantom Menace?
Look at you referencing old movies. Yeah, the latest Star Wars movie wasn't well received, but it'll probably be swept under the rug, just like Star Wars 8 was.
Okay. Well, what use do I have for pet phantoms? Also, how much work were they to tame?
It's pretty easy. They did take a ton of damage, though. You're gonna have to be careful with them if you want to put them somewhere. But if you kill them, taming another one is super easy. Plus, I'm taking advantage of their desire to line up. And I basically just froze them in place.
Hey, Future Javamonk, can you hold on a second?
What for? Hey, Javamonk! Care to explain what you're doing? Darn. I shouldn't have left my X-ray goggles in my time machine.
There. I finally got every possible advancement. Sweet. 2 birds, 1 arrow.
That was your use for phantoms?
Yep. A bit of poetic justice, if you will.
They weren't that great of pets anyway. I couldn't figure out how to feed them.
Wait a minute. Didn't you know I was going to kill those phantom pets? Especially because of the fact that I am, like you've explained, that I am part of your past?
I'm sure I could have researched that deeply, but I didn't bother. The Time Bureau finally published its Rebels booklet for time travel, and I'm following all those rules, so I didn't bother researching it.
Man, this whole time continuity stuff is confusing.
You know what? Now is not the best time to explain it. It would be best to explain time in a different setting. Like, how about some sort of talk show? That would be pretty neat.
Sure. By the way, question for you, future Javamonk. Will you be here for episode 100?
Of course I'm going to attend the finale. It's the culmination of both your work and mine. See ya!
I think that's going to do it for this episode. So, the second to the last episode of this entire series. It's kind of crazy. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to empty my ender chest. Because, at this point, at the end of this episode, I'm going to provide a world download. So this way, you can download this world, and you'll be able to take advantage of all the resources that I gathered. So, perhaps, if you really want to, you can finish the Sky Village if you really want to. Or totally redesign it. I think I've gathered enough resources to do it in survival. So, yeah, I'll even put it in the exact order that it was in. Just like this. And then the ender chest there, plus all of the scaffolding. There you go. So this chest contains all of the contents of my ender chest, which means this ender chest no longer has a purpose. All of my armor and weapons have been fully mended up, so now I can take this off and stash it away. There we go. So that is cliche ending, the last cliche ending of this series. So now, here's the world download. Oh, and I guess I might as well also put away the golden carrots in the clock. So, there we go. This is the world download. This is where you will spawn, and you'll be greeted by these 2 chests to basically give you a head start if you want to download this world and play it for yourself. So, thank you for watching, everyone, and thank you for watching this entire series. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please let me know. And we've now done all of the cliche endings that are normally associated with long Minecraft series. I mean, we kind of went back and looked at the previous specials. We've gone through and cleaned everything up. We've done insane redstone projects, and now we've done a full recap of this entire world. So now, episode 100 is the custom ending. I hope to see you next time for episode 100, the full finale of the series.